Hi Scrapty Friends, I'm back with another process video. This is for a design team project for Colorcast Designs. And just a heads up before we even start the video, this is my first time recording with my new setup. So I owe you guys a huge apology because you are going to see a whole lot of my hair in this video. I had posted in my Instagram stories that I had figured out a new overhead setup, and while the video quality is much better because it's a direct overhead shot of my desk, I still haven't figured out where my head belongs, and so you see a lot of my hair, and I'm so sorry. I'll get it together. But oh, there's a cat on my shoulder. I guess she wants to say hi. But back to the video. So for this piece, I have these two pictures of a coffee cup that my husband and I are holding, and I have one printed in black and white and one printed in color, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet, but let's start the layout. So I am using the Cocoa Vanilla Bohemian Dream collection. I've had this one for a while and I just never got around to using it. So I figured since this piece, which I probably should tell you about the piece. The piece says Life's Better Buzzed, and it's from the coffee release, and it's white. So I figured since I have this white piece, I might as well use this as an excuse to play with color. So what you saw me do was sort through all the papers I have from the Bohemian Dreams collection, and I purchased the paper pack. So it comes with 2 of the 9 designs. So there's a ton of paper. And I picked out that funky multicolored paper, and I picked these 2 blue papers to kind of match with that middle stripe. So my plan is to have that middle stripe of paper across the middle of the page, and then to layer the other 2 papers, one on top of each other on the top and the bottom. And here I'm just cutting out a little bit of that colored paper just to give it a rough edge. And then I'm going to take my Tim Holtz distressing tool and distress both sides of that paper. And I kind of trimmed it out because it took me a while to get it to where I wanted it, where it was like really scratch looking. It took me a while to get there, so I just kind of edited it out so you didn't have to watch me doing a bunch of distressing paper. And now you see I'm putting the diagonal stripe next to that colorful paper, and then I'm going to put this blue ombre paper right on top of that one. And so I distressed the edge of this one also, just to add a little bit of continuity since I distressed that wide piece. And I just like the way ruffled edges look. I love messy pages. If you've been following me on Instagram at all and you see the work that I do, it's very rare that I have like a nice clean graphic layout. I am a sucker for mixed media and messy edges and ripped paper. So here I'm gluing the whole thing down. I'm like comfortable, I like it. So I glue it down, and you can see where I cut those little divots out. It just gives it like an extra bit of texture because now there's a piece missing. And I glue that down on both sides. Oh, both of the cats want to play. I wish like I was recording live so you can see this. I have a cat literally on my shoulder, like a bird, and cats do not belong perched on shoulders. If I wasn't in the middle of recording this, I would move her, but that was just too much. So now you see I'm like layering all the papers. So I put first that diagonal striped paper, and now, oh, see, here's the first time you see my, if you have a cup of coffee or like a cup of tea, we should play a bit of a drinking game. And every time you see my head pop up in the shot, you should have a drink of your coffee. And by the time this video is over, you'll probably have gone through 3 cups of coffee for the amount of times you see my big, and then my hair was so messy, like it wasn't even contained. It's just like this big ball of fluff. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll do better next time. So here I've decided to go with the black and white photo, just because there was so much color on the page, and if my husband if he was wearing a different color besides red, I might have went with the color photo, but the red in his shirts just clashed way too much with all the blue that I had in my background. So the black and white photo just made it really easy to match everything down. So now I'm putting the photo on a bit of vellum. I do like matting my photos on vellum, especially if I'm putting it on such a colorful background. I think it softens it up a little bit, and it kind of lifts it up off the page. So I always have scraps of vellum hanging around. Like you saw, that wasn't even a complete sheet. I always have bits and pieces of vellum hanging around from previous layouts that I save for backing small photos. So there's the title piece again, and I love the way the white pops off that multicolored paper. Now I'm grabbing embellishment. Yes, I am grabbing embellishment packs. The Bohemian Dream embellishment packs are so beautiful. And I bought the cardstock pack as well as the vellum ephemera pack, and it was full of flowers. And so I figured, since this has been sitting in my stash for so long and I haven't used it, let's just go all out and put as many flowers on this page as possible. So what I like to do with the page like this, since I don't really know what I'm doing, is I kind of arrange everything the way I like it. So I'm just grabbing flowery bits and sticking it down. Not sticking it down, just placing it where I think I like it. And the colors in this collection are all really, there's so much purple here. I never use purple, and so it was a little bit disconcerting for me, but it was mixed in with my favorite colors, which are like teal and pink and yellow, and so it made the purple a little bit easier to swallow. But I do love the colors in this collection, and like I said, because my title piece was white, I could do whatever I want, so I was like, keep all the color. So I like the way that looks with, all the flowers. And you'll notice in my end layout, it doesn't look exactly the same, but I did kind of get close to the feel of this. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. And now I grab the vellum pieces to like mix it up for texture. I like texture on my pages. I'm not so big on like dimension, like Flair and Brad's, but I do like mixed texture. Oh, I'm sorry. The cats have found the scratch board and they're right next to me. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry. I haven't been on here in a while, but my husband and I adopted, well, right now they're 6 months old. We adopted 3-month-old kittens about 3 months ago, and they're right now that awkward teenage stage where they just don't listen to us and they just do whatever they want all the time. And I currently have my scrapbook station set up in the middle of our living room, and that's also where the cats hang out 90% of the time. So if you hear them again, I am so sorry. So my plan is to balance out that top right corner is on the bottom left to do something similar and just put a bunch of different flower pieces, and now you have this like fun diagonal movement across the page in addition to that wide central piece in the middle. So I grabbed again more of the flowers, the cardstock flowers, and more of the vellum. I grabbed the butterfly, and I'm just kind of arranging it like a big mission is to just make it like airy and pretty but still use up, oh, there's a dance break. Make it airy and pretty, but still use up a fair amount of the stuff, because my mission is to stop hoarding. I have so much stuff and everything's just way too pretty and I'm afraid to use it. So my mission this year is to put it on the page and actually put it to use. Like, there's no point in having it in your stash if it's just taking up space. So here's a trick, scrapbooking pro tip, not that I'm a pro, but if you put your page together and you really, really like it and you're afraid you won't be able to replicate it, take a picture of it. And that's what I do 90% of the time is once I get my stuff down on the page, I take my phone and I snap a picture of it, and then I attempt is the word here because it doesn't ever come out the way it's supposed to, but I attempt to recreate it with my phone next to me. Now here, the Life's Better Buzz piece also came with this wood veneer circle I loved the circle, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the wood veneer. I didn't think it matched with anything on my page, and since these pieces are so thin, I knew I could color it. So I grabbed my Distress Oxides and Worn Lipstick, and I've been loving these Distress Oxides. I use them all the time. But I grabbed the Distress Oxides and Worn Lipstick and a little ink dauber tool and painted the wood veneer. And now I can use it and it matches my page, and that made me so much happier because I loved the coffee cup, but the wood veneer, like the plain birch color, would not have matched with all the other color I have happening on the page. So now there's my layout, and now I have to actually put it together, and this is where things can get dicey because sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, I have my picture. So right here I decided I'm going to put a little bit more color under my photo. So I matte the photo on this polka dot paper, and I ruffled up the edge. I ripped the edges and ruffled them up a little bit so it's not like a perfectly clean edges to go with the rest of the page. And at first I put the photo on foam. That's the other thing I do a lot. Like, I'm a little bit of I guess I scrap by routine, and there's just some things I always do. And one of the things I like almost always do, like 90% of the time, is put my photo on foam. I like having my photo lifted off the page. And so I put my photo on foam, but you're going to see that eventually I decided the foam is not working for me here, and I ended up ripping it up. But I use fun foam from Michaels. You can get in like the kids crafting section. It's like pennies for like, I'm like literally like $2 or $3 for a pack of like 60 sheets of foam if you have a coupon. And that's what I use. And it comes in a bunch of colors, but once it's behind a photo, you can't really see. And I always have like scraps of it lying around because I'm always backing random shaped things. So I just keep bits of it on my desk. So now here I am. You see my phone right there. I am attempting to recreate my cluster, and it doesn't go exactly the way it did in the beginning, because one of the things I did was I decided to cut my flowers in half. Since I was tucking it behind the photo and under the layers of paper, I figured I would get more mileage out of it. Oh, there's my hair again. I figured I would get more mileage out of it if I cut the flowers in half, and then I can use them on the top and the bottom. And that way I'm using stuff up, so I'm getting a ton of use out of it. So I'm just gluing my flowers down, and I struggle a little bit with my fine line bottle for a lot of this because it's almost empty, and I didn't want to stop filming this video. See, now I'm deciding that the foam is too much and I take it off. I didn't want to stop filming this video to refill my bottle, and so I do fuss with it a little bit. And so here's the reason you see a lot of my hair. I'm obsessed with getting things straight, and so I use my T-square a lot, but I'm also blind as a bat. And so I have to get really, really close to my desk to make it straight. And that's why you see so much of my hair. I'm so sorry. So the reason I took the foam off of it is because I wanted to lay flowers over top of the photo. And if photo and the bottom layer were two different levels, then I wouldn't be able to stick the flowers on. I would have to like put individual pieces of foam under each of the flowers. And I didn't really like the way that looked. So I just decided to take the foam off of the photo and put it all on one level. So now you see it looks a little bit different than it did when I was putting it together, but I'm still really happy with it overall. And I love that pink butterfly. So, I got glue on my phone. That's what I'm doing because I was fighting with my fine line bottle so much that glue was just going everywhere, and I got glue on my phone. So that is a little purple, I forget what you call those things. They're like the things that you put on pages for a divider. I don't want to call it a divider tab, but that's the closest thing I can think of. And it says favorite. And then I put that butterfly. That butterfly is actually vellum. It's not cardstock. And so now I'm rifling through it. I have my piece, and here goes my hair again because I'm gluing down my photo to make sure it's nice and stuck. And so there's a piece. And what I normally just glue my pieces down with Scotch tacky glue. That's what's in my photo. I don't have any issues with the acrylic pieces moving if I use the Scotch tacky glue. I almost always end up putting too much glue, and sometimes it seeps out from around the acrylic piece. I'm trying to use less because less is more. So now I have the cardstock stickers, and I'm going to grab that light blue label piece and stick that down right under my photo. And then I'm going to put a tiny phrase sticker that says, see, there's my head again because I'm trying to stick it down straight. I'm going to put a tiny phrase sticker that says, love this. And there we go. I go in with the T-square and make sure things are where it's supposed to be. And now I glue finally my title piece down. I am really, really happy with the way that top right cluster looks. Like I think it's really and really pretty. And it's not what you expected for a coffee layout. Like it's all like flowers and girly, and it's about coffee. And that's what I love about scrapbooking is you can do like themes, and maybe like coffee photos would be like fall and winter themed because that's when it's like pumpkin spice season. Let's do something fun. And I had this fun photo of my husband and I when we had gone for like a really, really early morning coffee date, and I had taken it with portrait mode, and so it was just a really pretty picture, and I was like, why not? So I put down another tiny phrase sticker up there, and it says true story. It was also from the cardstock stickers. And the cardstock stickers, if you get anything from Cocoa Vanilla and you get the collection kit, like the paper kit, the cardstock stickers come with all the paper. So it was really cool that came with it. I love Cocoa Vanilla, but it's really hard for me to get it because I'm in the US. So there's very few stores that stock it that I can get it from. So when I can get it, I tend to get a bit of it just because the exchange rate makes it a little bit more pricey than the other US brands. So now I am sticking down my bottom cluster, and you see I have that orange flower is a vellum flower. The other pieces are cardstock, and then that pink flower that I'm gluing down right now is also a vellum flower. And I like mixing the vellum and the cardstock just because I think it gives it a little bit of texture and it makes it interesting. The other thing about the vellum is when I put it down, I don't glue it down completely. I only put a little bit of glue in the center, and so the edges of it kind of like full up. And so I don't know, I think it looks interesting. So now I'm gluing down a butterfly to go with the other two butterflies. Not that I am the like ace with design theory, but you know, the rule of thirds, and you have to do 3 of everything. So now all I'm doing is putting down that wood veneer piece that I colored pink, and the Color Cast Designs wood veneer pieces are adhesive. So I think after that I'm just about done with this layout. So there's still photos after the, and then I will have my end title card that has other layouts. So, oh, I'm lying. I do one more thing. That sticker says the little things, and I put some glue on top of it because I wanted to put it over the wood veneer piece and I didn't know if it would stick down. Now I'm finished. So again, I'm going to have the title card after the break. So if you want to hang out and watch more videos, I'll have more things linked. I have so many process videos filmed already. So there's going to be lots of content coming up. And if you are new to this channel, I hope you subscribe and hang out with me further. Have a great day, crafty friends, and I'll see you around.